This week, Mark Wahlberg crash lands on a world dominated by simians in Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes.
Janine Garofalo and David Hyde Pierce meet cute in Wet Hot American Summer.
And Francis Ford Coppola unveils his definitive cut of a masterwork, Apocalypse Now Redux.
Is there a soul in there?
Humans find themselves looking up at monkeys on the evolutionary ladder in Planet of the Apes, and I'm Roger Ebert.
And I'm Richard Roeper. Planet of the Apes isn't a remake of the 1968 sci-fi classic. It's an incredible reimagining of the story as filtered through the brilliant mind of director Tim Burton. This is one great-looking movie filled with exciting action scenes, hilarious inside jokes, and some surprisingly strong performances given the challenges of the near-camping material and the layers of makeup involved. The lead human is Mark Wahlberg as Captain Leo Davidson, whose pod crash lands in a swamp, but that's the least of his problems. Helena Bonham Carter plays Ari, a human rights activist ape whose father is a senator.
The only reason I put up with your nonsense is because of your father.
Hey, if you want me to stop, give up your filthy business.
Hey, I do the job that nobody else wants. Besides, I don't see any of you bleeding hearts spending all day with these dangerous, dirty, dung beasts.
And that's Paul Giamatti, very funny as a slave trader. Six-time Academy Award-winning makeup artist Rick Baker gives each of the main ape characters a distinctive look, and the actors are uniformly superb in establishing their personalities through all that prosthetic magic. Tim Roth breathes evil life into the character of Thade, a bloodthirsty, human-hating general.
Send in the first wave.
Wahlberg is fine in the action scenes, but he seems a little green for this part. Somebody like a George Clooney would have given Davidson more presence. But that's really my only quibble with the film that is far and away the most entertaining of the blockbuster releases we've seen this summer. Roth and Bonham Carter are truly amazing, using their eyes and voices to convey their superior intelligence while they move about in an undeniably simian manner. There's also a nifty cameo by a legendary star. Planet of the Apes isn't just worthy of comparison to the original, I think it's better.
I don't think it's better. I don't think it's the best blockbuster this summer. I think Jurassic Park was more fun, and I really want to zero in on Mark Wahlberg and the other humans.
Okay.
I think they spent a lot of time making the apes into interesting characters, and they succeeded. And the apes look great, and they are very convincing as characters, although Helena Bonham Carter never moves like a chimpanzee. I mean, she moves like a woman who
I don't think that's true at all.
like an ape.
When she walks into the tent to see Tim Roth's character at one point, she's
you don't see her coming around like this too much.
Well, no, she's somewhere in between that, but it's not Bozo Circus. It's a little more developed than that.
Mark Wahlberg seems surly in this movie. He seems distant. He doesn't care about his fellow human beings. He can't wait to get off of that planet. He's going on with a love triangle there. He has Estella Warren and Helena Bonham Carter, both interested in him, and all he wants to do is get in his pod and go back into who knows where. I don't want to give away too much of the movie, but if I were him, I would stay on that planet because I think he has better chances there.
I would give you that. And I also just think he's kind of puny in his way. He's a little block-shaped guy.
Doesn't give you the energy and the joy and the largeness of performance that you need for the hero of this movie.
Well, I don't know if he has to have joy. I mean, he's in danger most of the time.
He never seems amazed by anything.
I still have to disagree with you when you're saying that Jurassic Park 3
is
what's a more accomplished technical piece of work? I don't think so. Not more fun. Not even in the same ballpark.
Yes, it is. Okay. Our next movie is named Brother, and it's the first American movie by Takeshi Kitano, the actor-director sometimes called the Japanese Clint Eastwood. Kitano specializes in hard-boiled, hard-edged crime movies where a quiet build-up coils into a sudden explosion of violence. In this film, he plays a yakuza, or a gangster, who comes to Los Angeles to join his brother, and then he becomes friendly with his brother's partner, played by Omar Epps.
Now, one of these 5 strings is attached to the trigger. You get to choose 3. If none of them pull, we'll let you go.
Action scenes like this one are an echo of the early westerns made by Clint Eastwood and Sergio Leone. There's kind of a symmetry there because the spaghetti westerns themselves ripped off the samurai movies from Japan. There's an existential simplicity to Kitano's logic here.
Pick one.
First one. On the left.
This one?
One of the running gags in the movie involves how much English Kitano does or doesn't understand.
You told them you'd let them have the territory. Now, why would you do that to these Japs?
Why not? We're gonna massacre them all later anyway.
The movie contains a lot of violence, usually in short bursts. That's Kitano's trademark. His face rarely displays emotion. In fact, half of it was paralyzed in a motorcycle accident, and the joke in Japan is you can't tell which side. His characters are generally folded inside themselves, quiet, passive. He even walks with a weary stoop. His enemies tend to discount him, and then he unleashes a fatal move so quickly the victim doesn't even see it coming. It's an effective approach in his best movies, like Sonatine and Fireworks, but Brother is not one of his best movies. It rambles, it seems too casual, it falls into a rhythm where the violence only punctuates boredom. Takeshi Kitano was an important filmmaker, but Brother is not an important film.
No, it's a bloody mess is what it is. And, you know, this Kitano-Eastwood comparison, he makes Clint Eastwood look like Roberto Benigni. I mean, he is so deadpan. It's actually kind of funny the way people try to get a rise out of him and he doesn't make a move. But I don't know what's going on at the beginning of this thing, the early scenes in Japan. It's just incoherent trying to figure it out. And then once he gets to L.A., it's just, as you said, they just shoot each other a lot and blood gets spilled for no good reason.
You know, on the other hand, though, he does have a real style as a director and as an actor, and I look forward to his movies. I like his movies. And I like little touches here, like when he finally gets his drug business really going, they have their own private basketball gym.
Yeah.
And then the Yakuza complains the black guys won't pass in the ball. I mean, that's kind of like...
Yeah, there's some funny little
It comes
touches.
down to that in terms of their partnership.
But we can't even keep track of all the rival gangs and
you
who's
can't.
shooting who and
You
why.
cannot. You
and the
cannot.
American characters aren't realized at all.
Absolutely
so it's
not,
a poorly
no.
developed story.
You're
Okay,
right.
coming up next, a journey into the heart of darkness in Apocalypse Now Redux. Martin Sheen's Captain Willard steals the beloved surfboard of the napalm-sniffing Colonel Kilgore in Apocalypse Now Redux, the restored and expanded version of Francis Coppola's landmark film. The dye transfer print is beautifully and sometimes horrifically vibrant, the remastered sound is crisp and ear-splitting, and we also get 49 minutes of additional footage. A few famous sequences have been extended, and there are some entirely fresh scenes, as when Willard has a drug-laced interlude with Aurora Clement on a French colonial plantation.
There are two of you, don't you see? One that kills, and one that loves.
In another previously unseen moment, worshipful children surround Marlon Brando's insane and brilliant Colonel Kurtz as he reads news reports to Willard.
You'll be free. You'll be under guard. Read these at your leisure. Don't lose them. Don't try to escape. You'll be shot.
The extra scenes are fascinating, even the ones that don't quite work, like the expanded encounter between Willard's men and some Playboy playmates. But is Apocalypse Now Redux better than the original? I don't think so. The journey to Kurtz's compound was already marked by detours with Colonel Kilgore and a tiger and the dancing Playboy playmates and a boat of doomed civilians. That's more than enough. This extra footage is valuable, and Apocalypse Now Redux is great, but I still say the original is better.
I agree with you. You know, and it hurts me to say that because I was really looking forward to this expanded version, and now I think that they should have taken the extra footage and made it into deleted scenes on the DVD, because the problem is the original Apocalypse Now, which I've probably seen at least 25 times, has a certain arc to it, a certain inexorable narrative logic to get you to Brando. And actually, the extra Brando scenes I'm happy with.
Right.
But that long excursion to the French plantation is just, it seems to me, it interrupts the flow of the movie, and the Playboy scene doesn't work. Having said that, I have to say, this Apocalypse Now, even so, in this version, is certainly the best movie playing in America right now, and probably the best movie that will play all year. And it has scenes in it like that one with a helicopter attack on the village.
Sure.
And then, you know, the payoff with Robert Duvall with his famous line that will live forever in cinema history.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning. You know one time we had a hail bomb? For 12 hours, when it was all over, I walked up. We didn't find one of them, not one stinking body. The smell, you know that gasoline smell? The whole hill. It smelled like victory.
That's as good as it gets. And over the summer, I've received some communications from people who thought I was too hard on Pearl Harbor, and I just said, if you think that's a war movie, go, please go and see Apocalypse Now, and you'll see what a real, great war movie is, because they're just too timid in Hollywood now to make a movie like this
Pearl
today.
Harbor is child's play compared to this, not even in the same league. And another joy of this film is seeing a young Harrison Ford and a really young Lawrence Fishburne in this film. It's just one of the great movies of all time.
Coming up next, Janine Garofalo and David Hyde Pierce share a wet, hot American summer.
And looking ahead to next week's openings, we'll review Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker in Rush Hour 2.
I'm sorry, man. Oh, y'all look alike.
You work at the camp?
Yeah, I'm the camp director. How about yourself?
Me? No, I don't work over there.
No, I know. I'm the director. I would know if you were.
Oh, right. You would know that.
Janine Garofalo is the director of Camp Firewood, as you no doubt gathered from that exchange. And David Hyde Pierce is the astrophysicist who lives next to the camp. It's the last day of summer, and if they're ever going to fall in love, it's now or never. And that is the same dilemma for almost everyone at the camp in Wet, Hot American Summer, a Meatballs clone, but even weirder, also featuring a lot of actors from the MTV show The State. Paul Rudd plays a member of the camp's undistinguished staff. He's a lifeguard who lets kids drown and then lies about it, and also he doesn't clean up his plate.
Andy? You gonna clean that up?
Oh, yeah. I will. I don't have time right now.
Marguerite Moreau plays the camp sex pot, who on this last day is an irresistible challenge for Michael Showalter, who never has had any luck with girls.
Oh, this is cool. It's a really neat shirt. I love it.
My favorite shirt. You're gonna have to give it back.
No?
Wet Hot American Summer is a great title for a movie, although Meatballs 4 might have been a better title and more accurate. The movie stars a lot of funny people, and sometimes they do funny things. Christopher Maloney, for example, plays the camp chef, who seems to suffer from an extreme case of post-Vietnam traumatic shock syndrome. The romance between Garofalo and Pierce is the best thing in the film, especially the scene where she consoles him when he sobs that he's only an assistant professor. But for every gag that works, there are a lot that don't, and the movie limps along without developing very much comic momentum. I really didn't like it very much at the end.
This is one of the strangest movies I've seen in a long time, and there are one or two laughs in there, but the thing with Maloney playing that Vietnam vet and the talking can of beans or whatever it is just stupid. It goes nowhere. And it's kind of a sloppy, ugly-looking piece of work as well. I mean,
it doesn't seem to have
technically kind of, not very accomplished at all, and the acting is all over the board, I think, on this. It's a mess.
It's not directed with a lot of confidence. There's no sense of interior momentum pushing you toward the end of the film. It's as if they sat around and came up with a skit and did it, and then in the editing, they kind of don't get the rhythm going.
It's kind of a spoof, but it's kind of not, and it's really not worth seeing. Okay, our next movie is Bread and Tulips, a sweet and light Italian confection filled with a kind of endearingly quirky characters who exist on the side streets of the imagination, waiting for somebody to make a movie about them. Licia Maglietta plays Rosalba, a 40-ish housewife who is such a quiet ripple in her own family pool that they unwittingly leave her behind at a roadside rest stop. She moves to Venice, finds a job, and makes new friends. Giuseppe Mazzaroni plays the plumber-turned-private eye who's been trying to track her down.
Certo che lui. Ma allora non è successo niente. Non è successo niente. Signora, lei forse non si rende conto del suo gesto. Il dottor Barletta non dorme più, non mangia più. Io non posso credere che tutto questo le sia indifferente.
Cos'è lei che gliene frega?
Me ne frega. E come se me ne frega? E lei non immagina quanto, perché se io non la riporto subito a Pescara, suo marito potrebbe compiere un gesto fatale.
Meanwhile, back home, Rosalba's personal holiday takes a toll on her selfish husband and his mistress.
Non è che mi costerà qualche camicia.
Mimmo, ma sei scemo? Guardi che io sono la tua madre, mica sono tua moglie, sa?
Vabbè, ma sono 5 anni.
Speriamo che Rosy dormi presto. E allora ti muovi.
Masseroni's detective kind of resembles an Italian Benny Hill. I thought he was really funny as the hapless mama's boy who falls for Rosalba's neighbor. And Rosalba herself has an adventure of the heart with an Icelandic waiter with a mysterious past. He's played by Bruno Gans, who's wonderful. And I like the locale a lot. Many films have been set in Venice, but this one focuses on the people who work and live in the shabbier sections. Bread and Tulips isn't really fall-down funny, and it's not a romance that will touch you in a way that will resonate forever, but it'll keep a smile on your face throughout.
Boy, it sure kept a smile on my face. It's sweet, and it's funny, and it's warm, and it touches your heart, and it's romance, and it's comedy, and it's good. I mean, it's one of these subtitled films that comes along every year or so that I think really has a chance to do a lot of business in this country.
It's very accessible.
Like Water for Chocolate or Cinema Paradiso, movies like that. It's accessible, and you like it. It just makes you feel good. I just love that woman.
You know, and for some reason, when Hollywood tries to make these light comedies like Someone Like You earlier this year with Ashley Judd or Sweet November, it just doesn't quite work. For some reason, it just seems clunky and mannered, and it's just done so sweetly here.
It's because this film never feels like a sitcom. It feels particularly Bruno Gans. He really anchors it. You know, he's sitting in that apartment. In fact, he's almost committing suicide when she meets him. And he gives it a real, I think, a psychic weight that's important to make the romance work.
These films are a little bit more patient, and that's why we get a better payoff, I think, when they finally come to their conclusion.
Okay, coming up next, two great movies are now out on DVD.
I like your hat. Really.
Ebert and Roeper in the Movies Video Spotlight is brought to you by Nestle Raisinets. Try Raisinets in new convenient resealable bags.
Garth, it's Heather Locklear.
Wayne's World and Wayne's World 2, both worth seeing, arrive in video stores this week, and you won't be able to miss them because they'll have towering stacks right next to the door. But you may have to go a little further inside the store and search through an aisle or two to find two other treasures that are new this week on DVD. My first recommendation in this week's Video Spotlight is Baghdad Cafe, the quirky, delightful 1988 movie about a German woman played by Marianne Sagebrecht who has a fight with her husband in the Mojave Desert. She leaves him and moves into a motel being run by CCH Pounder. Among the guests are Jack Palance as a shipwrecked former Hollywood set painter who lives in a world of his own.
In your room, there's a painting.
The light in the sky.
I painted that. Would you like to see my other paintings?
My second video store treasure this week is named Chocolat. No, not last year's Oscar nominee, but a 1988 film by Claire Denis told through the eyes of a young girl growing up in a French colony in West Africa. The girl's father is away when a plane crash lands nearby, and the brash young pilot enters the lives of herself and her mother. He's attracted to the mother, but doesn't realize he's entered a tense emotional situation also involving the African servant.
Se lève dehors, madame.
Comment ça dehors?
Je l'ai bonne, madame. Je le fais, madame.
Non, laisse. Il faudrait changer les draps et brosser les housses des coussins.
So, the 1988 Chocolat and Baghdad Cafe, both new on DVD and both unforgettable.
Coming up, my parting shot takes aim at the king of cameos. Only one man has appeared in America's Sweethearts, Contact, Bulworth, Dave, Enemy of the State, Crazy People, Eddie and the Cruisers 2, The Exorcist 3, and The Contender. That man is Larry King, and he must be stopped. Since 1984, King has appeared as himself in some 20 movies, interviewing fictional characters who are making big news. In America's Sweethearts, King and a string of negative callers badger Catherine Zeta-Jones, something that would never happen in real life. The scene doesn't work because King is doing a sketch comedy version of himself. Not to mention the fact that the novelty factor of a Larry King cameo has long ago worn off. When King first appeared in Ghostbusters, it was a clever gag. Now it's just an indication that the filmmakers couldn't come up with anything original, and that's my parting shot.
Okay, recapping this week's movies, a split decision on Planet of the Apes, 2 thumbs down for Brother. 2 very appreciative thumbs up for Apocalypse Now Redux, which opens next week. 2 thumbs down for Wet Hot American Summer. And 2 delighted thumbs up for Bread and Tulips.
Remember, you can hear our reviews at Ebert-Roeper-Movies.com and read us in print at SunTimes.com. Next week, we'll review the modern fairy tale, The Princess Diaries, and until then, the balcony is closed.
I guess I expected Tim Burton to take more chances and really go over the top of Planet of the Apes, and he played it sort of safe.
Well, I think somewhere down the road, you're going to admit the folly of your ways for saying Jurassic Park 3 is better than Planet of the Apes. There's no way
it's
on any level that it's a better
more
movie.
entertaining, pure audience picture. Yes, it is.
I think, people keep asking me about Planet of the Apes. I think it's eagerly anticipated, and they won't be disappointed, and they'll come out in droves to see this.
I bet you anything that Jurassic Park winds up outgrossing it.
I bet you're wrong.
Great stuff on TV tonight. Oh, yeah. Time to kick back and get Orvalized.
There's never been a better time to join America Online.
I planned all my vacations.
Get driving directions.
Email, it's fast, it's easy.
America Online. Call 1-800-4ONLINE.
Right now at LensCrafters, get a complete pair of glasses with DuraLens, our most scratch-resistant plastic lens for only $99. The $99 DuraLens event. This one you don't want to miss.
These babies were conceived using the Clear Plan Easy Fertility Monitor. It identifies more fertile days each cycle than any leading method. Clear Plan, clear results.
Closed captioning for Ebert and Roeper in the Movies is brought to you by...
When I drive with this little guy, I drive with confidence because I trust my brakes to Meineke.
At Meineke, you'll get a lot, but you won't pay a lot.
How would you like to join the best police force in the best place on earth, the Portland Police Bureau? If you are 21 years of age, have 2 years of college credit, a U.S. citizen, and have no felony or domestic violence convictions, you may qualify. The Portland Police Bureau offers you challenges, security, and full benefits. Make a difference in your community. Join the best police force in the best place on earth. Call the Portland Police Bureau or apply online today. Coming to Portland's Keller Auditorium, experience Broadway's smash hit musical, Disney's Beauty and the Beast, the most spectacular evening of Broadway entertainment ever imagined. Discover the magic for yourself, August 15th through the 26th at Keller Auditorium. Tickets on sale at all Ticketmaster outlets or by calling 503-790-ARTS, part of the Best of Broadway series.
Relax. Imagine yourself driving in safety in a new car equipped with the most advanced safety features available now in family cars in almost every price range. Just imagine. Now, open your eyes and drive to your hometown new car and truck dealers. The reality is, the selection is great, and today's financing makes new cars affordable. You can afford to invest in safety because now is a great time to buy a new car.
Spa recipes you can make at home.
Today at 9.